Welcome to Pieces of Gold, and today my very special guest is the one and only, very dear to my heart, Rachel Karafistan. Hello, Rachel. Thank you so much, and welcome. It's so great to have you here.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you, Sarah. It's just wonderful.
For those of you who are tuning in, and thank you, my darling, Rachel is one of the most incredible creatives I've ever met. She's inspired me in so many facets and ways of my own life, especially in the creative side of things. But her journey so far is truly inspiring. But you're not the average creative, Rachel, which is what makes her so unique and amazing. But we first met, I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory. So, I know there's so much more before this moment, but we met back in the day, 1999, at Tile Hill College. Yes, Tile Hill used to have a college. It is now a housing estate. And they were running a course in performing arts, and there was you and Booney. Yeah. And it was, you don't get this sort of performing arts like anymore anywhere. I think it was like almost like a Twilight Zone pop-up, amazing course, and we had such creative freedom, and we weren't doing the average stuff back then. You're definitely in a different league. But let's talk about you and where it all began for you, Rachel. Mm-hmm. This incredible journey, and what you're doing now. But let's go back to where it began for you, Rachel.
Yeah, so I suppose my journey with theatre began actually when I came to Coventry, because I'm not from Coventry originally. I'm from London. I was born in London, and we moved away when my parents split up. And we moved to Coventry when I was about 7 or 8. And then I went to Cardinal Wiseman School. And my drama teacher there, Karen Waterfield, had been trained by Roberta Carreri from Odin Teatret. Mm. And so she ran the most amazing, wonderful drama lessons. And then one day she said, oh, should we start like a youth theatre? And so we did. We set up we booked a community centre with a very cold concrete stone floor in Walsgrave. And we all used to pay 50p to go to these sessions, and they literally changed our lives, because we were not doing any kind of popular theatre there. We were doing Grotowski exercises. We were doing storytelling. We were working with ritual. We were exploring our voices. And this work, it was called Bury Central's Youth Theatre. And another member of the youth theatre, Patrick Campbell, he is also, I recruited him and he joined when he was 11, and now he's senior lecturer in drama and performance at MMU.
And he's incredible as well.
He is incredible, yeah.
I didn't realise you two met back then.
That's where we met, there at that.
Wow, that makes sense.
Youth theatre, yeah. And that, it really shaped me. It really shaped me, because we were given the autonomy to create our own theatre work, not being told what, given lines or told what to wear. We decided it all. And we had incredible role models as well, because we had, companies like Odin Teatret, who some people may not have heard of, but they have been going over 60 years. Only recently they disbanded, but they've been going 60 years. And they made all their own work, and we performed for them, really, even though there were other members of the audience, at the Arts Alive Festival in Coventry, organised by the Belgrade Theatre. They saw our work, we saw their work, and they invited us to bring our work to their home in Denmark, and we played there. And it was just like, there was no going back from that, really, because once I realised that I could make my own work, I didn't want to make anybody else's. So that's where Coventry gave me so much. And I feel very sad now that it's not possible for young people to, theatre's not that accessible to young people anymore. I would imagine that it would have got easier but it's just so expensive. I mean, I'm looking for things for my own kids to do in theatre, and it's £70-80 a day for them to do something. I mean, I was doing it virtually for free, and we were held, by funding bodies as well. When we applied for money, we would get it. It's very different times now, and that really, it troubles me. It troubles me a lot that the theatre seems to be inaccessible to young people like myself, coming from underprivileged backgrounds at that time. It seems to be more inaccessible now than ever.
And it is a shame, and the lack of funding, a lot of things, being private, and the theatre's almost become...
It's very elite. It always has been elite. And
but for young people, I mean, the benefits of going in and into that container of performing arts and all the, strings that come with that, because it's not just one thing, is it? There's so many facets of performance and expression and creativity. Is the rewards from submerging into that are great.
Are huge. I mean, just being able to empathise with other people's stories and seeing that stories, have many, many different angles and many, many different, they come from many different people. And the danger we have now is that we tell one story and people hear one story. And if they are in a social media bubble, they may only have access to one side of the story. And this is why I feel we have such a huge rise of fascism in this country, in Europe, because one of the contributing factors, I would say, is that people are becoming more ghettoized. People are becoming arts is less available. It's less available to people. It's not even in schools anymore, to the best of my knowledge. Not as to the extent it used to be. Yeah.
I mean, it was my outlet. It was the only outlet for me in school, and I think a lot of people would resonate with that as well. When you have something that you really love, that you connect with, and that it was life-saving in a lot of ways. Yeah. It was the only outlet I had to express myself and parts of myself that were locked away or voiceless, even if it wasn't literal. But it was me being able to submerge and step into a realm that was safe, that was contained, and it was very healing. And, you were saying about the generation now, the younger people now, I feel that they are desperately need that, like you say, this social media, always on your phone thing. It's detached something that actually, as humans...
Yeah, we're losing our ability to empathise with other people. You just see it every day, even when you swipe, the things we swipe past and what we swipe to, it's just the fact those exist in one second. Yeah. Those two things coexist, back to back. It's our ability to empathise is dwindling dangerously.
It is a different world. However, all is not lost.
All is not lost.
It's not lost. Seek and you shall find.
Yes.
So you had an amazing introduction into it all. And then you embarked on training.
That was the thing I didn't, because people like me, nobody in my family had been to university. And so I didn't even know that drama schools existed, It's like, I mean, they did, but they weren't for people like me, and no way we could afford anything like that, blah, blah, blah. So I'm also quite academic. Well, I was. And so I wanted to get a degree. So I studied psychology. But all the time I was studying psychology, I was thinking about theatre. And one of the courses on my psychology degree at Sussex University was Shamanic Dimensions, run by the most amazing Professor Brian Bates, who's the author of The Way of the Actor and The Wisdom of Weird, and other books that I can't remember them all now. But he was kind of the authority on Anglo-Saxon shamanism. He is a beautiful man with a beautiful Father Christmas beard, and he just opened the door to thinking about what happens to us when we lose ourselves at a rave or listening to a piece of music. And I really resonated with what he said and how my experience had been in the youth theatre, because we were not going to that youth theatre for anything other than catharsis and a place to find ourselves, to lose ourselves as well. And he encouraged me to go on and turn that into an MA and a PhD, and that's exactly what I did. So I wrote about the connections, for my PhD, I wrote about the connections between shamanism and theatre, and kind of the evolution of the actor from the shaman, and how when the shaman would go into a trance or access what the community needed in order to make some kind of transformation within the community. That's also what we're doing as actors. And it's not all actors, of course, not all acting either.
We know.
Yeah, but definitely what and I'm not trying to say at all that we are shamanic or we're doing it, because obviously it's a huge generalized word, and that's one of the problems with this kind of comparison. You can't generalize shamanism because it's very culturally specific, but the need to create in order to transport people, to transform people, is what's underneath my work, definitely. And that's the connection
100%.
I made with
purpose,
that work.
It has meaning, and to help open people's hearts, minds, help them to see through different lenses and feel. We're going to talk more about that, because you definitely did that to us young students, helped us to open up and feel. And I think that's, that in itself is not just a shamanic, but a healer's. You're like a creative healer in a sense as well. Where I was going to go with that next. Right, so you went and done all your training and studies. Then you stepped into the world of lecturing. Let's have a look at that time for you, Rachel, because it's not just the work that you were doing, but you also had your own journey and your own life going on. So what did anything that you were doing in your work help you in other areas of your life? That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So my training, because I didn't go to drama school, because I kind of jumped straight out of a psychology degree, applied psychology degree, into a doctorate about theatre, I found my own way with theatre training. So I trained with Philippe Gollier. I trained with so many incredible women as well. Frankie Armstrong, the Natural Voice Network, Venice Manley, and Roberta Carreri from Odin Teatret, and even Nigel Rasmussen from Odin Teatret. Catherine Hunter, the wonderful actress Catherine Hunter from many other places, Theatre de Complicité, Marcello Magni, and all of these incredible people really guided me in finding my way through theatre. And that's something that Brian Bates really advocated, for finding your own way into shamanism as well, was to find your way. And I couldn't see my way in a drama school, so I kind of carved out my own training with lots of different people and really threw myself at that alongside teaching. So the Tile Hill job was crazy, because I went to Tile Hill that day to get a job teaching psychology, and all I talked about was theatre. Because
Fine arts is down the corridor to the right, to the left, should I say.
And the head of school at that time was so lovely that she saw it in me. She recognised, you know what, she knows about theatre. And would you like to teach a little bit on the theatre course? And I was like, okay, yeah. So that was really an important door for me.
Yeah.
And, I don't think that would be possible now. If you don't have a degree in theatre, I don't think I would have got through the door. But she saw that passion in me and gave me the opportunity to do that. And so I suppose the teaching work for me is really tied up with it's always a symbiotic experience, because I learn just as much from my students as they are learning from me, always. And, I've got a new group of not young people, actually. Well, some of them are young. A community group I'm working with in Poznan at the moment, in Poland. And they're doctors and lawyers and I've never worked with a group like that before, like an older adult group. Oh, my God, and they're teaching me so much. I mean, they have so much passion for theatre that it just fills me up again, fills me anew. I would say that, I love teaching, and I always seek out opportunities to do it, and to try as well to make it accessible. That's super important for me as well. I'm running 2 weeks of workshops, if anyone wants to come, in Poland this year. One which is called From Fragments to Form, which we're keeping at a super low price if people want to come over. And it's an opportunity for people to bring an idea they have for a show.
I love that.
And just come and work it out in the room with other like-minded people. And then the second week, I'm running with Patrick from Paris Central Zoo Theatre, professor, senior lecturer, although he should be professor, at MMU. And he's running, we're running together, a Reclaiming Voice workshop where we're encouraging people to open their voices.
And it's powerful. But it's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Kerry and I came over to you, it wasn't last year, it was the year before.
Year before, yeah.
In Berlin at the...
It was the Art House International Theatre Centre rather than a school. Used to be, and Art House was affiliated with Rose Bruford and Columbia College, but it's not anymore. But we were running MAs and MFAs, but we also ran a summer school, which is what you came to.
And it was incredible. And I came over because you were running it, of course. But it was absolutely amazing. And it's been so long since I'd stepped back into that container. And it was so healing. The voice work is another level. What you create is just magical. So I highly recommend anybody who, I mean, you don't even need to be like wanting to be a performer. No. It's not even about, what am I going to do with this? This is about stepping into something that's going to unlock you, help you in other ways, with expression, with communication, with connecting with yourself. Mm-hmm. I've always found, like I said at the beginning, that arena for me was all about healing, expression. I was able to peel off a lot of, shed some skin. And as a lot of people are aware, the people that come in, it's all encompassing. You've got so many different areas where you can grow, transform, change, heal, express, come home to yourself. And this is one of them. It's not just, going and doing a plant medicine or, sitting in a therapy room. They're all amazing. All these things that I've had people coming in to talk about through writing, through different... But this, for me, is like... I cannot tell you.
It's because you're a storyteller.
How
you're a
powerful it is. I mean, stories. I mean, finally I've been nudged, get back to your stories and all that's going on. But anyway, So over in Berlin, you were working over there. Oh, there's a bit in between as well, I'm sure.
There is a lot in between.
Oh, gosh.
Actually, gosh, and I suppose I should at this point.
But you've had your own stuff as well, Rachel. I mean, you are, like you say, you are academic. You're highly intelligent, very beautiful lady, very creative. We know this. But you've also had your own adversities in your own life. So with the work that you do, how has that merged and helped you? How has it propelled you with your own challenges and adversities in life? Because
Yeah, well, I've never been to therapy. So I suppose that's a... and
this is therapy.
I probably should have. So I suppose that this has always been that outlet. I wouldn't say therapy for me because I always get a bit scared about that because it's a very specific thing. What I like to do is to make theatre that reaches people, that makes, as you said so beautifully, makes people feel. And that's one of the things I always, in my teaching, how did that make you feel? And if you're not feeling anything, there's no point. If you're not making...
Are you alive?
Exactly.
Your heart's beating. But actually, Rachel, yes, no, sorry, carry on. I've got another question.
I was just going to say, I suppose that has always been my outlet, and being able to immerse myself in those world of stories, and actually finding things that annoy me greatly, and finding ways to play them out on the stage has all So my last performances. Yeah, so recently I made a performance called Heartburn. Well, not recently, 5 years ago, but we're still playing it with my colleague and good friend Eva Rufo, who is Spanish actress, also lives in Poznan in Poland, and we made this performance about women. And it's kind of, we call it a feminist theatrical riot. So it's about menopause, it's about abortion, it's about it was inspired by my own experience when I lost a baby at 6 months gestation. I happened to be in the UK when I found out that the baby was dying and it wasn't viable. Although the baby could have gone on and continued to grow, even though it wouldn't have been born. And I was in the heartbreaking position, but so grateful for having a choice because I was in this country. And at the same time this was happening to me, I started to find out about other women and how they don't have that choice. Yeah. And it took me about 10 years to be able to start speaking about that experience. And then that became the catalyst for the show. Actually, that experience of having to have an abortion, but it's actually as well a birth. And how, I think the week that we premiered that show, there was a woman in Poland who died because she didn't have the same option that I had had. She died of sepsis because she was denied an abortion. And this is still going on. It's still not been... it's still so prevalent, and women don't have choices in so many places. So this kind of experience, usually I pour my own experiences into performances. And before that, I made a show called Dreams Die Hard, which was about my grandmother's a diary that I found when she died. Yes,
we can see that.
You did, yes.
I loved it.
Yes.
It was great.
But it was also about, again, about populism, about women as well. Women not having the same status and opportunities as men. That's always a theme of my shows. And then the most recent show that I have completed, and we're touring at the moment, we're going to be playing it at the Albany Theatre on the 3rd of October this year.
Day after my birthday.
Is a production called Akash, If Only, which I made with 11 young women who are based in Afghanistan. And I was teaching them English online because, of course, they're not allowed to learn, among many other things they're not allowed to do. And we somehow made this show where they basically were sending me little clips of audio or little clips of themselves, obviously nothing that would reveal their identity. And we put it together, myself and Kuba, my partner, who I haven't mentioned yet. Oh, I should, because he's quite key in it all.
The Blue Man.
The Blue Man, yes.
What an amazing show.
And he helped me, and we edited it all together, and we made a show. And so this show has been touring now for 3 years. But it's, and we won an award at a festival in Poland. But it's been incredibly difficult to get people to book this show. I think talking about women in Afghanistan is way down the list of priorities right now, when actually it should be, we should all be screaming about it.
Yeah, but it's true stories. This has come from directly from source. You've been working with these women tirelessly, and they've been putting themselves at risk in a lot of ways to communicate and share their truth with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give us a little bit more about how it's been for you, like behind the scenes. People, you've now got all the material and the stories, but behind the scenes, what guided you to piece it all together and do what you're doing with it now?
Well, I think as I said, as what I was saying in the beginning, I like to make theatre that transforms, that reaches, that makes people feel. And when I was working with these young women, and I just heard their stories, and I heard, the desperate situation they're in. Nobody cares. It feels like nobody cares. Yeah. And I just thought, well, I have to, as a theatre maker, as a storyteller, I have to facilitate a situation where these stories can come out. So in the production, I don't speak. I'm just a kind of like a ghost, a container, I suppose, and I hold the stage for them to speak. So they speak. We hear them and we see them, and I have objects that symbolise things. Sometimes we have objects that we pass through the screen to each other. And it's a devastating performance, actually. Oof, even just talking about it, because I think at the beginning, when we first made the production, and the young women would, I'm sure, say the same. We had so much anger and hope that we could change something, yeah. And the situation has only got worse. The only thing that's changed is that the young women have learned how to deal with it, and they are incredible. They are my absolute heroes. Because, if you could even for a second imagine how it is to not be able to leave your home without a man, without covering yourself from head to toe, to not be able to raise your voice, to not be able to sit at a window in case you were seen by another man, to not be able to go to school, and now it seems like every time we play the show, another edict has been introduced by the Taliban. Right now, I've now heard that if a child does not, it stays silent, then they have agreed to be married. Yeah, so there's now child marriage in Afghanistan is completely legalized. It couldn't be more devastating, and it just keeps getting worse. But the women keep getting stronger, but at the same time, the prevalence of mental illness, the prevalence of suicides is enormous, because nobody can cope with this kind of pressure, and yet the rest of the world,
oppression, isn't it?
It just stays silent. And we have so much culpability in this, and that's another whole story. And actually, one of the things that my next show is going to be about, but I've been talking for a long time. But yeah, my next show is about our own shame as a country. That's the British Empire.
I love that.
And so I suppose that's what I do. I feel what's in my heart, what is making it beat a little bit faster. And then I lean into that and try to find a way to get that on a stage. And because it's all I can do, it's all I know how to do. It would
shine a light
Yeah.
on in dark places.
Yeah. So I mean, I was
Light in dark places.
yeah.
I highly recommend anyone who wants to kind of just step out of that little boring box of doing the same thing all the time, watching the same things and feeding their brain with the same things. Step out your box. Come and watch a piece of theatre that is next level. 3rd of October. Get your butts down to the Albany Theatre.
Please.
Don't miss it. Rachel is not in the UK very often.
Oh, more and more these days.
This calibre of work is a bit more these days, yeah. But like you say, you are sort of still back and forth. And for a long time, you weren't here. But yeah, don't miss it. Absolutely. Look at life through different lenses and feel something.
And walk in their shoes, you know. Yeah,
you know, and have, you know, 'cause it's important that we step out of ourselves and step out of our own little self bubble. And I'm guilty of this as well myself at times. It's like, me, me.
We all are, yes.
You know, but it's important because as a human race, what we need is connection and love. And more compassion, definitely, in this world. And for things to change, as we know, a light has to be shone in the places where love needs to go.
Yeah.
And at first, it's not comfortable. It's like the writing that I've done, you know, it was like I went through like a demonic exorcism, I think. You know, come out the other end, and someone that reads that, like what Jeff did with me, we're all inspiring each other to come closer to becoming more whole and enriched in our soul and authentic, honest, compassionate, all those things. And those things don't just emerge.
No, because
there's a bit of trench walk in there.
Yeah, we're actually encouraged not to be honest with ourselves, you know, on a personal level and also on a societal level. You know, we are not taught so much in school about what we have done as a country, as a nation, as an empire. You know, it's just not on the curriculum, and it's desperate. And I really do. I mean, I've lived in Germany. I lived in Berlin nearly 17 years, and one thing I will say, they absolutely own their history. You know, the first thing you learn is about Nazism, and you learn about, you know, everything that happened, and they own it completely and utterly. And we need to grow a pair and be able to do that too, because, you know, this country really has wreaked havoc upon the rest of the world, and the rest of the world is still recovering. And sometimes when we talk about developing countries, they're not developing, they're recovering from what we did. And we do not speak about this. It's not encouraged. When I was looking the other day at A-level syllabus, when they talk about the British Empire, and it's like debating the strengths and weaknesses of generals in India, you know, during British India. They wouldn't. What kind of question is that? You know, 170 million. Estimated 170 million, probably more, Indians died as a result of British rule in India. 6 million in the Bengal famine, which we don't talk about, which was pretty much presided over by, you know, the government, Winston Churchill, by turning a blind eye to what was happening there. We do not talk about this because we don't like to dethrone our heroes. We don't like to.
There's no accountability there. No, it's a lack of accountability. It's a lack of integrity, and not going to get political, right?
Sorry,
ding, ding.
Everything's
not
political.
Get political.
Everything's political with me.
From every level, everything is interconnected. So whether people want to look at politics or not, or look at this and not, or that and not, it's irrelevant. We're all getting affected in one way or another. There's a
It's also about truth, Sarah, and
Yeah.
honesty. And that's what you're saying about honesty. It's also about truth.
Yeah, and it'd be nice to have some leaders or people who choose to step into an arena of leadership, or governmental responsibility, that actually have a bit of frigging training. You know what I mean? Not just, it's like what's your foundations? What's your reasons? What's your agenda? What is it you're here to do? And be accountable. It's highly questionable when there's atrocities still going on, and things are being blindsided. Don't look at that. Look at this.
Yeah.
And like you say, we've got a responsibility to this generation that are in this new world now.
Yeah.
And they're just constantly being distracted. They don't even know who they are. Some of these kids.
No.
They don't know themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But part of all that as well is that the layers, of not being able to understand why our beautiful country looks the way it does, why it's as diverse as it is, and taking that away from them, of that lack of understanding of why it. I mean, why our country is just so incredibly diverse and mixed. Young people don't know why that. Most young people have no idea. Not only young people, older people too, have no idea why that is. And that is terrifying to me. It's absolutely terrifying. And I think it has been living somewhere like Germany where everyone knows it, made me realise how little we know and how ignorant we are. And so that's the topic of my new show.
I love that. I love it.
I'm a little bit terrified of it myself.
I'm all about love and light, but as we know, it's not. You can't. It's not. Life is not just singing and dancing and the stars and the rainbows. It's great to do those things and step out and breathe. But there's also work to be done.
But it's also about love. Yeah, it is about love. At the bottom of it all, it's about love. It's about being able to look at your neighbour and love them, because they are the same as you at the end of the day, and not to find ways to divide us. And that is what's happening now in our country. And we need to find a way to just be more in love with each other.
Just care.
And care.
Just care,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And that is the, other than the message of we need to know our history, we also need to know how to love each other again, how to empathise, and how to be there for each other, and have community. And that's super important to me. And I think that's the other reason that theatre has always drawn me back, the community, There are people that have been long-standing supporters of my work. I mentioned many of them earlier, Catherine Hunter, Frankie Armstrong. She donated a song to our project, Heartburn, which was about abortion. She did, people who have always supported and always been there for me, and given me wings when really I didn't have any, and this is the kind of community we need more of, and not just in theatre.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
So, Rachel, I know you've produced and directed and written a lot of your own original pieces of material, and also helped copious amounts of people to develop their own, me being one. All I can say is The Black Woman and the Priest.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Oh, Nocturnal Emissions.
Yeah, I found the VHS the other day.
Might release that. Look out for that. Might release that out. That was incredible. But for you, has there been a specific, I know there's probably been more than one, but anything that really stands out as in regards to a performance piece that inspired you, that got you, that tore you open a little bit?
Oh gosh. So I suppose that one of the pieces that was really formative for me was Odin Teatrets Chaos. I didn't understand a word, but it didn't matter. I raced to see it so much. I fell over on the Bindi Road into concrete. I've got my little scar here. And I fell over.
Get to theatre.
Yeah. And I
see the
remember
show.
sitting
Love
there like this, and my hand was burning, and it had the concrete still in it, and I was watching the show because I was desperate to watch the show. It was performed in lots of different languages. It was based on Kafka's The Doorkeeper, a Metamorphosis. No, The Doorkeeper. And it was just, I don't know. I mean, just the whole ritual of it, the sensuousness of it, the proximity to the actors, the singing. That it was like a huge, beautiful. I don't know what it was about, but it was about everything all at once, you know. And my soul just lifted out of my body, and I was just like, this is incredible, and I need to make work like this.
Yeah.
Even though I've never made work like that, it was one of the. It was completely formative. Yeah. And then the second piece, which really, and that's a piece that's carried on into my life, was a piece called Carmen Funebre by Teatro Pedro Podruge, and they played it here in the cathedral ruins, and it was Carmen Funebre means funeral song. It was based on experiences of the Bosnian-Serbian War, and it was devastating: fire, stilts, death. You know, it was just really visceral, and I just wanted to as well to make, and it made us all feel everything, you know. And again, no words. A street piece of theatre, and I went on then to be in a production with this company at the Belgrade Theatre. We made a piece, what was it called? The Millennium Mysteries.
Yes, Millennium Mysteries.
Millennium Mysteries. And so I was a cohort of the British actors. Manjinder Virk was another one.
Manjinder, yeah.
And Andy Hockley, stalwart at the Belgrade Pantos. And a few others as well, and we were the British actors in this production. And my husband, Kuba Pieszczalski, was on the other side. He was in the Polish company, and that's where we kind of fell in love, I suppose, and that's where we met.
Kuba and you, I remember we used, well, he's an incredible creative as well, isn't he? Like, used to just like a creative power couple. But yeah, for anyone who's ever been to see the Blue Man still going, isn't it?
Blue Man is just about still going. They've closed most of their shows now. I think there's only one left in Orlando, I think.
Amazing.
But yeah, Kuba was a Blue Man for 20 years.
Yeah.
So after we left Pedro Podruge, I was teaching at Leeds University. And then one day he went for an audition at Leeds Playhouse, came back with bruises all over his legs because he'd been drumming on them. And he got the gig. Yeah. And then 20 years later, that's been an amazing journey for us as well, to have the security of that job really facilitated. Well, we could have children for a start. Yeah. So we were able to have children because it's so difficult to be an artist and have children, and also make work that really means something to us through Cosmino, through our company. So Blue Man gave us many, many great gifts.
Blessings.
Yeah.
Cosmino.
Yes.
Your tour at the moment, is that under Cosmino? So
it's Cosmino with Under the Starry Afghan Sky, which is the name of the collective of the young women. All the proceeds, all the tickets go to the young women in Afghanistan. Yes.
So
go straight.
That's
to
really
them.
important part of this.
Yeah.
Rachel is sending everything that you over to the ladies, the women, to help them and support them.
Yeah.
So another double reason why.
Yeah, we're also playing at Nottingham Playhouse on the 9th.
Okay.
So we've got two gigs in October in the UK. So one at Nottingham on the 9th and one at Albany on the 3rd. And we are playing at the Unife Festival as well on the 5th of June. That's in a few days from now. Actually.
I love that. Yeah, we're not. Gosh, can you believe that we're nearly halfway through the year already?
I can't believe that at all. I know.
What's going on? So, Rachel, what next after this? Anything coming after this, or?
Yeah. Well, as I say, we are
Are you coming back to teach in
I'm
Coventry?
finding the way now to be more here. So I'm still based in Berlin, based in Poznan as well. I mean, trying to move from Berlin and be more based in Poland, in Poznan, because we live in the forest. We have a place in the forest there, which is just beautiful. We've been growing our own vegetables. This is sort of, I think, the best thing I've ever done in my life.
The dream.
When the spinach grows, it's like, oh my God, I grew the spinach. Anyway.
I love that.
So this is important. The new show, Empire. That's what its name at the moment. It can change. Corbett is working on a children's show as well for very little ones, just him. So he's doing that. Yes. And I'm trying as well very much to develop the teaching and to kind of give people the opportunity to have a sort of training through Cosmino. So. If you came I'm trying to do so, create an opportunity for people to train in sort of, say, 6 different facets of theatre for an affordable price and then get a certificate to say, I did this training. And I'm doing that in collaboration with Theatre Tusta Langusta, who are old friends of ours based in Poznan. They have beautiful, tiny little theatre in Poznan. And Theatre Uśmiegodnia, who've been also going 60 years, also very wonderful friends of ours, and they've given us their space. We are trying to develop these theatre opportunities for people to come and work with people who make theatre, not people who just talk about it or write about it, but people who make theatre and live from this, making of theatre, to train with them. I'm going to be running a workshop with Eva Kaczmarek from Tusta Langusta. She's an amazing performer, writer, director. She does it all. We're running a workshop together in November in Poznan. So, yeah, just trying to facilitate opportunities for people to come in. You don't have to be necessarily theatre people, as you said, just people who want to flex their storytelling muscles.
Who already are willing to step into something. That
and take a leap of faith.
Step out your comfort zone. Go into something new and exciting and have a whole adventure with all that. I love that. So, what would be your advice?
Oh my God. Yeah.
What
advice
would be
to
your
who to?
advice for someone who wants to steer more over into the world of creativity and they have nowhere to start? They've got ideas, they've got, stories, they've got things like songs or anything, but it's there and they don't know where to take it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that, is always amazing to me, how we shut it down so quickly. Because as children, we can do all the things. We can sing, we can dance, we can write stories, we can communicate with each other, and then we shut it down.
Yeah.
And innately, we are creative beings and we need to be creative. And, I think to acknowledge that, and not to feel like I have to be an artist, or I can't draw, so I can't be an artist. I can't sing, so I can't be a singer. No, we have all of these things within us as human beings. That's what makes us different, is that we are creative. We have that creative ability. So first of all, to get rid of all those negative thoughts of like, I can't do it because I can't act. No, you can do everything. You just need to allow yourself to have the audacity to say, yes, I can do these things. And then seek out places where you can be free. I was talking to my mum and she says, do you know what, Rach, she's 76. I think she's one of my greatest inspirations. Hello, Mum. I think I'm going to join a choir. And I was like, yes.
I love that.
And you know what? My mum, and I suppose this is answering your question kind of backwards, my mum got accepted into the National Youth Theatre when she was 14, but her mum wouldn't let her go. So she studied to be a secretary instead. Now, my mum's teacher at school was Mr. Shepherd. And Mr. Shepherd, his son is Mike Shepherd, who ran Knee High Theatre. Yes, the Knee High Theatre, Emma Rice and Mike Shepherd. And, you know, the idea that, you know, this, and I know Mike. And so when I've worked it out that my mum was taught by his dad, I was like, oh my God, my mum should have been an actor, but she was told, she was shut down by her mum. No, this isn't for you. But it still burns in her, you know, and I know that when she sees me doing things, it's sort of like, oh, okay, at least some of my genes are doing the thing that I wanted to do, you know. So and the fact that when she said to me, I'm going to join a choir, I was like, yes, you do that. It's never too late.
No.
It's never too late. And some of our greatest stories are told, you know, after 60 years old, after 60, after 70, because then you've had so much experience of life. You're ready to tell those stories,
absolutely,
to share them. And all you need is a little guidance of how you might do that, you know. So yeah, to dispel the negativity and to seek out opportunities which are inclusive, like choirs, like writing groups, my workshops.
Highly recommend.
And yeah, flex those muscles and take back what's yours as a human. Take it back, because we've been robbed. You know, we're being robbed.
Yeah, and it's kind of being edged out, a lot of it. So yeah, don't lose it. It's still all there. Reclaim it.
Yeah,
and explore all facets and aspects of your creative world.
Yes. I mean, and look for other people who are on the same path as you as well. Other people who you know, want to do things, or maybe it's music, maybe it's anything that just makes you have that feeling of like being alive.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's just, you know, they have a moment when you listen to a piece of music and you feel, oh, I'm somewhere else. We had this experience. We went to the Bearded Theory Festival, which is a music festival, and we watched K Tempest. And he was incredible. And at the end, he sang a song called People's Faces. My son and a friend that we met were standing there in these little skirts that they'd made at the festival in the workshop, and they're 12 and they cried. There I don't think it was a dry face in the whole of our little area that we were in, because, you know, Kay Tempest has been through this transitioned from a woman to a man, and it was just, you know, to see somebody be that open and that honest and that overwhelmingly beautiful in front of us all. It moved these two boys to tears, 12-year-olds to tears. And, you know, even a moment like that is just life-affirming. Yeah.
I love that.
There was one thing that I wanted to say as well. I'm also always wanted to put it in a book. And that's a big hurdle for me. I mean, I've written a PhD. I should be able to write a book, but it's a very daunting thing. But I very much would like to do this. And now I have a place in the forest. Maybe it will happen that I would like to write some. I've just run a workshop online called Make the Work That Matters. And we had amazing people from all over the world who were trying to make work, you know, the transformative theatre work. And actually having to put my thoughts into some kind of coherent place for those workshops, it inspired me to think, oh, maybe I have it. I'm ready now, because I don't think I did my PhD when I was 26, which is insane. I didn't even have the internet. Can you imagine? It was just,
try doing that now.
It was crazy.
Gosh,
I was using like
almighty.
microfiche and things like this. Anyway, yeah, I to put it down on a piece of paper or a computer, whatever, is a very daunting thing, but it's also a big itch that I need to scratch.
Do it.
So watch this space. I will try.
Do it.
I will try. I've said it now, so now I've
Writing.
kind of said it just
well,
for
this is it. This is
for the,
it.
for
So
the challenge to
when
myself.
you come on next, you'll be like,
Yes.
and
Oh,
here's the book.
or I didn't do it, and I still have to do it.
Yeah, do it, Rachel. Absolutely. You've got to share. You've got to get that down and share all that with everyone else.
Well, I just think that, you know, my path hasn't been a straightforward one. I did disobey rules and do things a bit differently, and I think that that's also the wonderful thing about theatre, is that there are so many different paths into it, into being creative, and to not think that there's only one.
Is there rules in theatre?
I think
Do you
that there are rules. There are rules that we set for ourselves so that we can kind of push them. And you decide what they are, and then you decide when you want to change them. It's as simple as that. Yeah, and that's what makes it so, liberating.
I love that. So you and I wanted to go back. So you were talking about you and Cuba. Now you've worked together quite a lot. In fact, your company is.
It's both of us.
It's
both of us. And then we collaborate with other people. So Eva Rufo, the Spanish actress I was talking about, Patrick Campbell is one of our creative consultants. Jo Johnston, she works on artwork with us. And then we've had other collaborators in the past as well too. But yeah, mainly it's just him and I. And that's not only because of financial situation, although that is a factor. Because we've been very nomadic in our lives, we've lived in different places. It's been difficult to secure kind of constant funding or long-term funding for our work. We've always been like peripatetic, you know, living from little project to little project to little project, always with a blue man alongside us as well. And that's been difficult, really. And I think it would have been easier if I'd been here the whole time. I could have applied for funding, and maybe we would have been a bit more grounded. But as it is, we've kind of just sort of been flitting for
and
many
that's
years.
all the side of it people don't see, isn't it? It's like, well, you know, how do you produce these things?
Yeah,
Funding.
it's a hustle. It's a real hustle. It's a daily hustle.
It's not like an arts council thing, is it?
It totally isn't.
With a lot of people, they go to, you know, for their pieces and whatnot. But this is like real.
Well, I mean, that's a big thing, because when we were younger, we applied for doing projects to the Arts Council. I was successful for several projects in my 20s here. But if you didn't get the money, then you didn't do the project. Yeah, that was how it was. And then I went to Poland, 25 years ago. And I mean, that just wasn't even an issue, First of all, there was hardly any funding then anyway for theatre. Or if there was, it was kind of really specific. You didn't wait for the funding. You made the show, no matter what.
Just do it.
You made the show, and
everyone
then
just come in and go, yep.
Yeah, but the show has to be good, and then you tour the show. Yeah, and that was a revelation to me. I was like, oh my God, you can also do that. And now I know, of course, we need to pay artists. I understand all those things, but sometimes. When it's a passion, a labour of love for you, sometimes it's good to just let go of that. Like, okay, I don't have to have the money. The money might come, but I can begin this work and start this journey without the money, and call in favours and hustle and barter and do these things and start the road towards a project. And Poland taught me that. And I'm very grateful for it, because that's how I've lived my life since then. Money comes and money goes. But when you need to make a show, you need to make a show. When it burns in you and the fire's burning, like, okay, I've got to do this. You need to get started, no matter what, no matter how, no matter who with.
Just do it. And that's not a Nike promotion.
No endorsements on this podcast. It
literally is. Just do it. Just do it. It's really funny, Rachel, because as you know, the last couple of years especially, I've been pushed more for the writing, all that side of things. And when I started doing that, I mean, I've got pieces that I'd written 10 years ago that I've pulled out and started piecing together, and I've had short stories coming in, and this, that, and the other. And you know, I do love the work that I do. It's not easy at times. Very similar types sometimes. Workshops. Sometimes I didn't get paid.
Yeah.
You know, but
Sure.
I love it. Labour of love. Obviously, the client side of things. But just looking at my life, everything always took me back to the creativity side of things with the imagination. Imagination, you opening that part of the brain is prevalent to channeling and healing, as you know, through the shamanic work that you've done. So they've always had a bit of a crossover. It's always had a bit of a crossover. People coming in and sharing their stuff, their stories, their life, what's going on. We share stuff, and it's all, even in that is healing, because people feel that they're not alone. But one of the going back to what you're saying, what triggered that was the thing that really caught me, and I didn't realise was there, was self-doubt. Confidence in all this and that and the other, all these things that I can get out and do. But when it came to really presenting that deeply sacred, creative part of me, which was the stories and the memoir, suddenly I was hit with, who gives a shit?
Yes.
Who
are
wants
you?
to read
Yeah.
that? You know, crippling doubt. But my vision and my heart and my soul and everything was going, share it, put it out into the world, you know, have faith in it. It will do. It's got light in it. It will do something. And some people don't like it, but there were people that do. But it was like ding ding, round 10, bang bang bang.
Yeah.
So I get it. I've done it. You just do it.
Yeah.
And just create something and let it set sail. And that's really important, because I know, and you know what that feels like, but you've got to keep going, do it. But there's so many people I know that I know of who are incredibly gifted and talented in so many areas of writing, singing, you know, performance, and they're just not doing it.
Yeah. But sometimes it's harder sometimes it's harder not to do it than to do it, or the consequences on your health, mental, physical, of not doing the thing that brings joy is more difficult than doing it. You know, and I think that's the first thing to realize, that you will feel so much easier if you're doing it in whatever capacity.
Yeah,
you're going to feel a release. And then I suppose as well, you know, there is this thing of imposter syndrome. It's very prevalent, isn't it? Especially with people who don't come from the background, the arts kind of, you know, who don't have the background that you have. Some people are lucky enough to be able to get into these things easier, yeah, and don't have to fight like tooth and nail to get through the front door. But I think that just to do it in whatever kind of goddamn capacity you can.
And
just
do it your way.
Yeah, to get the release.
Yeah. Don't compare, don't overthink it. You know, the voices are real, you know, all those sides of it which come with all that. It's normal. It's okay. You just don't listen to them.
That's right. It's not listening to them, but acknowledging them as well. I think you have to kind of just think, okay, so what? But then to think, well, why am I having that voice? And there's a whole lot of goddamn reasons which are not your fault that voice is in
Massively,
your head.
yeah.
Being a woman, for a start, is number freaking one. You know, being a woman in any capacity.
Challenge number one.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, it's so difficult to be heard. And maybe it's got easier, and maybe it's got more difficult for us as women as well. I look at my own daughter and I despair. I mean, I'd never seen such misogyny, actually, that she's kind of surrounded by at the moment, from young men around her. This absolutely terrifies me. And I know we dealt with that. You know, back in the 90s, we dealt with that too, but it seems to have a different face now, a much more terrifying face. And I wonder where that's going to leave us. And I wonder where, you know, we have to be very aware of this as women, that is part of the voices that bear it down on us. And as soon as if we get that bit out of our head, okay, this is also because I'm a woman and I need to deal with that. And then if we just get past that, okay, so what else am I? You know, what can I still be? What can I be? As soon as I take away all that brings to me, but that also robs me. Yeah. And that's something I see in the struggle. I have a son and a daughter, and I see that struggle play out very differently between them. And yeah, breaks my heart.
So, Miss Rachel,
gosh, look,
we've
gone
lost slightly over time. Anyway. So thank you, Rachel, for coming in. Do really, really appreciate you sharing your pieces of gold, your wisdoms, your experiences, and inspiration as well for those that have been watching and listening. So remember, just recap, 3rd of October at the Albany Theatre. Get your tickets, they're on sale. Yeah. And thank you.
Thank you.
And till next time.